Hi everyone, I'm happy to launch video agent testing from TestMu AI. Here is an interviewer. It has a face, voice, and it screens a real candidate for the real jobs, right? So now comes the question of how do you test it? So there is nothing to inspect, no transcript sitting in a database, no report at all at the end. The product is the conversation in itself. The face, the voice, whether it listens, whether it interrupts, whether it stays professional when someone pushes back, right? So today, teams test this by hand, sometimes sit down, joins the call, plays a candidate, and takes notes. That's 15 minutes of a run, right? So you can't do that hundreds and thousands of times with different personas and so on. You can't do it at 2 a.m. in the morning, right? And you certainly can't do it for every release. So we know how to test this software at TestMe AI, and we all know about it as well. Click the button, navigate through certain screens, and check the final results. But you can't click your way through a conversation. There is no correct output to compare against. Ask the same question twice, and you'll get two different answers, and both of them might be completely fine at the end, right? So what you actually care about is harder to pin down. Did it ask the right things? Did it stay in the character? Did it treat a nervous candidate the same way it treated a confident candidate? Those are judgment calls. And until now, a human had to make every single one of them. And now comes TestMu AI agents candidate. So we built a candidate, not a script, not a recording, a simulated person who joins the same video agent that we see here, like a real applicant would, shows up on the camera. Listen to what your actual agent says and answers on the moment. You decide who you are and calm a composed candidate, a nervous one who rambles, someone who dodges the question, someone having a bad day, right? So your agent has no idea it's a test. It's just a call at the end, right? So here we are introducing the video agent testing from TestMu AI team. So we could see that the platform takes up the actual system prompt from the actual agent under evaluation. So here is the system prompt of the Trojan agent that we have created. You are an AI interviewer conducting a short, structured screening interview for a software engineer critical role. And of course, you can add as many details as possible. How does it supposed to stay within the context and what it is not supposed to answer and so on. And now comes the real problem statement. What kind of personas you can evaluate this agent under evaluation on, and what kind of voices you can bring to the table for those personas, and to see how the agent stays within the context and it doesn't drift away, right? So our platform can create scenarios, and you can assign scenarios for separate different categories. You can also do a red teaming kind of scenarios on a real world conversation, a video conversation. And you can also assign different personas, different languages the video agent can actually speak, right? So you can generate scenarios, and each scenario will have a goal assigned to it. And here the scenario is basically an interviewee with a specific persona assigned to that interviewee, and also a numerous number of faces, I mean avatars. And it can also be evaluated across different voices and different languages too, including different dialects within a single language as well, right? So each scenario has an expected output, different personas where you can assign different personas and a goal towards it as well, right? So now once we have the scenarios generated, now it's our time to create a suit. A suit can have a number of scenarios, and here comes the complex part, or the real matrix, the magic in itself. A scenario can be evaluated with different personas, different test data, different avatar faces, and so on. So the matrix is unlimited here, right? So I've created I've assigned a simple scenario here and save the suit. And while executing, what we all need to provide is basically a target session URL, which is the Trojan AI agent URL that we have created for our interview testing purpose, and assign some candidate a name. And we can also select which kind of avatar, what kind of voices the avatar has to speak, and so on, and then trigger the video agent evaluation itself. So behind the scenes, the conversation, I mean, our TestMu AI agent is going to have this conversation by joining this specific interviewer agent. And once the conversation is done, we are going to evaluate the conversation. So our eval engine is going to evaluate the conversation for different matrices that we have, right? Let's let this keep running. We'll see some of those that we have already ran. So if you see, once the conversation is done, we could see the actual video conversation between TestMu AI agent and the actual agent under evaluation. Into your screen view. Please introduce yourself. Experience. So the left one is TestMu AI agent, video agent, and the right one is the actual agent under evaluation, the real interviewer. Specialize in back-end development. Thank you. Could you tell me about your experience? I've built microservices for large-scale systems and optimized database query. The conversation goes on, right? So you can see the actual video conversation and the transcript. And once the conversation is done, the scenario carried certain validation criteria. Those validation criteria are evaluated, and these are the criteria, and each criteria will have an evidence associated to it as well. And there are quite a few matrices that we have, one of which is conversation flow. How does it, is it naturally sounding? And was there an interruption by a candidate or by the real interviewer in itself? The question handling, the capability of an interviewer again, and is it staying within the context and so on. And the response quality, the agent response were actually highly relevant, concise, and professional. And each turn was limited to single short prompt or acknowledgement. And it says perfectly fitting the person of a screening interviewer. So these matrices are actually for the agent under evaluation, right? And it also provides certain session details and so on, right? So now comes the interesting part. So we did evaluated and provided multiple matrices. So the same conversation can happen in different languages or within the same language in different dialects with different avatars. So that's where the magic lies in. So one run is a demo. The real value comes from the matrix that we have talked about. The same agent, dozens of different candidates, different personalities, different faces, each one repeated because these systems are predictable. The run that passes once isn't the one basically you would actually ship probably, right? And it runs in our cloud in parallel. You kick it off, close your laptop, and come back to see the actual execution results. I mean, the evaluation metrics for each of these scenarios that we have configured it to run. So AI agents with faces are moving into hiring, into support, into healthcare, and so on. So they are talking to the real people about things that genuinely matter to them. So they should be tested like a software, no spot check like a demo, right? So that's video agent testing for you folks, and it's live now at TestMu AI platform. Thank you.